I missed that.
I know.
We can just listen to that for 3 hours.
Hey, we are back, y'all.
Kind of. Kind of. No, we are all the way back.
Well, you might be. I am definitely. I'm hanging in. But thank you everybody who reached out. I got some cards even from some listeners. So thank you. I did. Yeah. But thank you for reaching out. It has been a shitty year, but here I am. I even lit the protection candle.
Yes,
y'all.
she did, y'all. And it was an effort.
I don't
know how else to describe it.
I had to dig the frickin' wick out of the candle. Oh, the wizard's coming by. Are you checking?
Make sure we're not screwing this all up from the beginning.
Oh, should we say who we are?
Oh, good.
We had gotten so far. We've come so far only to retreat back to the beginning.
Welcome to another week of Case Files
With Kat
and Ashley. Welcome. Oh shit.
And we just started a beer. This is the problem.
Oh yes, this is well, actually I haven't been drinking as much. Like this is the first beer I've had in a while.
Okay, so what are you drinking?
So, in true Kat and Ashley Day fashion, I forgot to bring a beer. I forgot to prepare. So I stopped at a liquor store on the way here to record this very episode right after I finished the story that I'm about to tell. So very prepared for this evening.
We would expect nothing less.
I'm drinking Shiner Strawberry Blonde, which I love strawberry blondes. And it's hard for me to find ones I really enjoy. I used to love, there was one called Mutton Bustin', but like this year it's just not good. It's from Back Pew. And I don't know what they changed about it, but it's not good. But I like Abita. It's really good. But anyway, so tonight the one I'm drinking is Shiner. And I'm just going to read the back because it's very fancy. It says, brewed with juicy, homegrown strawberries from the strawberry capital of Texas.
Which is where?
Poteet.
Oh.
Poteet is the strawberry capital of Texas.
Sure.
With a blend of pale and wheat malts for a crisp finish. Strawberry Blonde is ripe for the drinking all summer long. Cheers. That's what it says.
Wow.
Anyways.
Cheers.
So
Salud.
It's Shiner, which is from here in Texas. I'm sure most of you know Shiner. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Shiner's taking over. I also am drinking a brand. I know it's a brand new Shiner. This is the Wicked Haze Double Hazy IPA with cryogenically enhanced hops. I'm impressed that I said cryogenically right the first time. It says a fabled double hazy IPA brewed with cactus water and Idaho 7 hops.
How cute is that, guys? We both chose Shiner and didn't even know it.
Oh,
super cute.
So cute.
We still have it.
I don't know.
Guys, I showed up today and they had a witchcraft book for me.
Yes,
and
we
I'm
did.
super excited. So for the next 3 hours, I'm just going to read you front to back of the book. We're not even talking about my story.
In my grief, we went to Five Below, and Dave.
This came from Five Below.
This came from Five Below, and Jason goes, "That's for Ashley." And he just grabbed it. And I was like, "Yes, it is. That is perfect." So.
Five Below. I actually love going to Five Below. They have all kinds of crazy stuff, but I never noticed. Like I've never seen like.
This is where I got my 40 disco balls over here.
And
literally 40
do you
disco
tell
balls.
People, because this is, we're going so well so far on this episode. Do you want to tell them why you have 40 disco balls chilling in your living room?
I like disco. No, the party that I plan every year. This year we are doing a disco themed fundraiser. So
yeah,
all disco all the time. And I gotta look good in my outfit, so I'm gonna try to lose a couple pounds, a couple of lbs.
That's why I kind of quit drinking so much.
So look good in your hot pants.
I would say most of my weight comes from drinking.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
100%.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm just kidding. I do
breakfast.
Anywho, okay, so there's no question of the week because I just didn't.
You just wrote the episode.
Well, I knew what kind of episode I was going to do because duh. But I just didn't know a good question of the week.
I know.
Okay. But.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to dive in. We didn't have any voicemails because I didn't tell Sarah we were recording. And she's had life events going on of her own. She had a baby.
And he's so cute.
Yes. So
he looks just like the other ones.
Yes. So we've all had a lot of crazy things going on. My house flooded. And so I've been dealing with that. I just had to have the roof replaced. They have to come and redo the floors because they messed up. So we've just all had so much going on. But we're back. And this is going to be a great night. I say that because I'm trying to pump myself up to believe that.
Pump it up. I will let you know if anyone is interested. My house is still not haunted. We were kind of like, whoa, are we going to have the lingering?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, but thanks for putting it on my mind now.
Yeah.
Great.
The little one was kind of like, I don't like walking by her room anymore, and so
wonderful.
I think that's just himself scaring himself. I think it's just him doing that.
Yeah, but he's the one that draws horror artwork. So if he's afraid, I'm leaving.
Maybe you
show
need
over.
To
Goodbye.
Not watch that stuff. And so, it was like, so do you want to do hospice at your house? And I was like, well, no, because if she dies, we have to burn it down.
I'm so sorry.
Just in all seriousness,
man. She
cannot die here because I would be.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at Jesus.
Okay. I still am Kat. At the end of the day, I can, there's still humor in things. However morose
thank you
that
for
is.
Not turning your house into a haunted house.
Well, yeah, because I was just like, I don't know if you want to bring that juju into this house, but that's all right. I hope you like it.
I love it. I've already learned so much in the 5 minutes I was looking at it. So
our protection candle is the right color.
Yes.
We've learned that.
I've learned the candle colors you burn matter.
Do you want to give that as a little tidbit of information?
Sure. If I can find it again.
Oh, well, so we learned that, our protection candle is black, and black is meant for protection to ward off any negativity. It's also blinding, which I think that might be to hide you. I don't know. That was kind of a
binding.
Weird binding. Oh, I thought it said blinding.
So it says, you may not wish to use black candles because of their association with the darker side of magic. If so, considering using dark gray. White can be used if your preferred color is not available. But so in general, there's a lot. So I'm just going to kind of go through real quick and then we'll get in to the story. So white signifies the goddess, higher self, purity, peace, and virginity. Black is binding, shape-shifting, protection, and repels negativity. Brown, special favors to influence friendships, healing earth energies. Orange is general success, property deals, legal matters, justice, or selling. Purple is the third eye.
Selling. So that's what you need, right? Okay.
Perfect psychic ability, hidden knowledge to influence people in high places, and spiritual power. Blue is the element of water, wisdom, protection, calm, good fortune, open communication, spiritual inspiration. Pink is affection, romance, caring, nurturing, and care for the planet Earth. Green is the element of earth, physical healing, monetary success. Oh, that's what I need.
That's what you need. Some green.
Tree and plant magic, growth and personal goals. Red is the element of fire, passion, strength, fast action, career goals, lust, driving force, and survival.
Ooh.
Damn.
Wow, that's a lot. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
For one color.
It's a lot of pressure. Silver is the moon goddess.
Hey.
Female power, clairvoyance, intuition, and dreams. Copper is personal growth, business productivity, career moves, passion, and money goals. Gold is the sun god, promotes winning, male power, and happiness.
Yeah.
And then finally, yellow
winning.
Yellow is the elegant of air, intelligence, the sun, memory, imagination supported by logic, accelerated learning, and clearing mental blocks. But the book talks about how to charge a candle, the methods to burn the candle. It says the candle's color and the symbols inscribed on it create additional power. So as you become more proficient, you'll find yourself using certain colors and symbols more often. And it says try not to be too rigid and always be open to widening your focus. So I will post some of these things when I make the post about this episode. Oh my God, you're going to burn that. What are you doing?
I'm burning myself.
She's messing with our protection candle, guys.
Well, it's starting to go out. Okay.
But anyways, I'll post the method that they say to use when you're burning these particular candles based on what you're trying to do. So like if you're trying to do the whole protection thing or the money thing.
I want to do the dream thing. I've been really thinking about, I used to have very lucid dreams and I haven't really been dreaming lately. So I'll do.
Yeah, but this book talks about herbs, oils, all kinds of stuff. So maybe each episode I'll just talk a little bit about.
It's cool.
Here. Anyways, okay,
Fun.
So
okay.
that's that.
Hi. Thanks for still being here if you're still here. Thank you. We're back. All right.
Okay, so in a very shocking twist tonight, I'm talking about one of my favorite topics, disappearances. Yay! So I had heard about this particular case because earlier this year there were some like advances in the case, like a new detective took over and a Hulu documentary series came out about it. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, what is this? And so I did some research and then I watched the documentary and stuff. So it's a very interesting case. There's a lot of details about the suspects and stuff. Some of the stuff I had to cut out because it's just super long, but I tried to put majority of it in here, but I put all the references at the end. And then again, the docuseries is on Hulu, so you can look that up. I mean, it's still there. And then...
but everything will be in the show notes.
Yeah, everything's in the show notes. But I tried to cover most of it. Some of the stuff I left out was just like minor details, but there is a lot going on with this case just because the new detective that took over this year was trying to make it his mission to figure this out. So I'm just going to talk and I'm going to go.
Okay.
Morgan Nick was born September 12th, 1988. And on June 9th, 1995, it was just a typical Friday. Her mom, Colleen, and her family, they lived in Ozark, Arkansas. And Colleen, which was her mother, ran a licensed in-home daycare. And so the kids had all been picked up by their parents. It was around 5 p.m. Colleen had made some like grilled cheese sandwiches. And it was Colleen and the children. So it was 6-year-old Morgan. She was 6 at the time. Her 4-year-old brother and a 22-month-old sister.
And these were all Colleen's kids?
These were all Colleen's kids. They were all siblings. So that's what was left at the house. So after the kids had been picked up and everything, some friends had invited Colleen to watch their kids' Little League baseball game in Alma, which was about a 30-minute drive from Ozark. So Colleen dropped off her 2 youngest children at the grandmother's house, and she and Morgan headed to the ballpark. Now, it didn't specify why she dropped the 2 younger kids off and not Morgan. Maybe Morgan just really wanted to go. Maybe it didn't really say why she was the only one that went. But the ballpark was about a block or so from the Alma Police Department, and an interior chain link fence surrounded the field, and an outer chain link fence encircled the bleachers overlooking the first and third base lines. There were no bathrooms, there were no concession stands. There were 2 small dirt lots close to the baseball field, which served as parking areas. And so where they were sitting was on the first base side of it, and they could see like everything, right? Like it wasn't a very big field. It's not like Minute Maid or like a big baseball venue or anything. I mean, if you've been to a Little League game, they're not usually very big spots. So anyways, so about 9 p.m., Colleen and Morgan arrived and they joined Colleen's friends and they were sitting on the bleachers to watch the game. So there were 2 kids that were there and they had kept asking Morgan to play, but Morgan was kind of a shy child. She had kept saying no, but then around 10:30, they asked her if she wanted to go catch fireflies.
That's late. Okay.
Yeah. And so Morgan had asked her mom if it was okay if she went with her friends, which were Ty, who was 10, and Jessica, who was 8. And at first her mother was very hesitant. She told her, no, it's too dark, it's too late. But eventually she would let her go because she thought about how she'd been told by her friends and family that she was too overprotective. Her friends reassured her that the area was safe and nothing was going to happen. And after all, they said, kids have been playing here forever and nothing bad has ever happened.
Already. I'm already so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Oh my God.
as I was reading through this, I was like, I cannot imagine her guilt.
Oh
like,
God.
I just can't. So, and so I mentioned a Hulu documentary, and it's called Still Missing Morgan.
I don't know that I'd be able to talk to any of those people ever again.
Yeah. So the documentary is called Still Missing Morgan. And Colleen was quoted saying, Morgan really wanted to go chase those butterflies. She was so happy. She flung her arms around my neck and kissed me on the cheek before she ran off.
Oh my God. Oh.
So Morgan was last seen at 10:45 p.m. by her friends, emptying out sand out of her shoes alone near her mother's car, while her group of friends emptied their shoes out only a few dozen feet away. Ty, the boy who was 10, had said he had waited nearby for Morgan to finish tying her shoes, like he was watching her. And then he turned around to start walking back to the bleachers when her shoes were tied, and Morgan didn't follow suit, and it was unclear why she didn't follow. Like, he thought she was following. So Morgan's friends reported seeing a creepy man talk to Morgan as she put her shoes back on. But they did say, like, when they had started walking back, he wasn't talking to her. Like, it was just like he was passing by. So anyways, when the game ended, shortly thereafter, Morgan's friends came back to the bleachers, and Colleen was like, where is Morgan? And they had told Colleen that Morgan was at her car waiting for her, but Colleen immediately started panicking. She's like, something's not right. Why wouldn't she have come back with you? Like, so she ran to her car. Morgan was not there.
Oh my God.
It had only been 2 minutes from the time that Ty walked away from Morgan and got to the bleachers and told her mom that Morgan was at the car, and she has not been seen or heard from ever again.
Oh my God. This is like nightmare fuel right here.
So Colleen, of course, naturally, she's freaking out. She's panicking. She's searching. And one of the coaches notices she's in distress. She tells them her daughter's missing. So he calls 911. Colleen and the other parents immediately start searching for Morgan. And mind you, this has only been like a matter of 2 minutes that she was unaccounted for. So law enforcement shows up and they did a grid search, but there was flooding in the area at the time. So like it made it really hard to search certain areas.
Yeah.
But they did it. They were searching for her. Parents were searching for her. The other two children told police they had observed a white male with a scruffy beard watching Morgan as she was playing with them. He wore shorts and was either shirtless or had his shirt open. Ty had told police that he had some white hair on his chest and stomach, but not a lot of it, maybe kind of like a stripe. Ty and Jennifer said the man was sitting in a red truck with the door open, smoking a cigarette. So at the time of her disappearance, Morgan was 4 feet tall, 55 pounds, and had blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh my God. She had 5 visible silver caps on her molars, and she was last seen wearing a green Girl Scout t-shirt, blue denim shorts, and white tennis shoes. So a massive investigation turned up, like thousands of leads, no solid clues. People started saying they started seeing her all over the place. But when that kind of stuff goes up, people are trying to collect money and just trying to be part of the investigation. Nothing ever came out of those particular leads. The FBI and local communities started offering a $60,000 reward for any information about Morgan, her location, the identification and rest of the conviction of her abductor. And so her mom was quite saying, I remember standing outside the fire station on the 4th day that she'd been missing, and somebody saying to me, it's only been 4 days, thinking that was truly helpful to me. She said this was in 2008, 13 years after her daughter had gone missing. But she said that really stuck with her. Like, this person telling her it had only been 4 days, like that had made it better. And so, over all of this time, like even today, her mom still has hope to find her alive. Wow. And because there were some statistics that say about 2% of children that are abducted in like this kind of manner survive. And she wants to believe that Morgan would be.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. Like I'll look it up when I'm done talking, but it was like,
oh my gosh,
it was in one of the articles that are in the show notes talking about, 2% of children that are abducted survive.
That is just not high. Brava if you can have that kind of optimism, because I don't know that I could. I feel like I would be.
Yeah, no, she's still like very active, like in hopes that her daughter will come back.
You told that one story of the mom that would leave voicemails on the outgoing message saying, if this is you.
Yeah. And so over the years, law enforcement was periodically released. They have periodically released and re-released a photo of a red pickup truck with a camper. So witnesses claim that the camper was possibly damaged to the right rear, and it was described as 4 or 5 inches too short for the truck, which was a short wheelbase and paint was dulled by age. Now, Ty had also mentioned that the camper looked like it wasn't meant for the truck, like it was too small. Mm-hmm. He remembered that detail about it. It was parked near the ball field at the time that Morgan disappeared, and the police chief, Jeff Pointer, mentioned in an interview that after Morgan went missing, officers received reports of suspicious activity involving the driver of that truck and children in the neighborhood. Children, and when I say children, it could be teenagers, it could be younger children who were approached by a man in a red truck with a white camper. We believe someone knows who was at that ballpark that night and who was driving a red truck with a camper. Police have circulated a description of the person that was, that they thought it might be, because Ty and Jessica were actually able to sit down with the sketch artist and draw the man that they remembered seeing watching them, because they did think it was weird, but then he went back to the truck. He wasn't bothering them, it was just, so they didn't really, they're children,
But so, did anybody, so it was 2 minutes. So was anyone peeling out of the parking lot when they noticed?
It was the end of the ball game, so multiple people leaving. It wouldn't have been a big. It wouldn't have looked suspicious that cars were leaving.
He just calmly drove out, just with everybody else. Okay.
And so, he is described as being a man who was between the ages of 23 and 38, which is a large age range. But again, the witnesses are children, so you can't hold them accountable.
He looked old. Which could mean 30.
Yeah. And so he was about 6 feet tall with a medium to solid build, and he may have had a mustache and a beard. So in November 2021, FBI agents, there was an FBI agent, in November 2021, FBI agents named a man, Billy Jack Links, as a person of interest in the case and asked the public's help in gathering information about him. Now, the reason they had to ask the public for information about him is because he died in 2000.
Oh, damn it.
So Links was convicted of sexual indecency after attempting to abduct a child 2 months after Morgan's disappearance.
Oh my gosh.
And according to the initial police reports, on August 29th, 1995, an 11-year-old girl told police she was walking with her younger brothers near the Sonic restaurant in downtown Van Buren when a man pulled up to them in a red pickup truck. Van Buren is about 10 minutes from where the ballpark was, like where Morgan was taken. So the girl told officers that the man had offered her money, made sexual comments to her, and offered to pay her to get inside his truck and go with him to his house. The girl ran away, and police were notified. A witness reported an Arkansas license plate tag to the police, and it was traced back to Links. And so on that note, I meant to say, when Ty was talking to the police about the truck at the ball field, another witness said the red truck had an Arkansas license plate. So this truck also had the Arkansas license plate, but they were in Arkansas, but it was just matching. And so, because of the Arkansas license plate, someone was able to actually get the license plate, and the police were able to use that to trace Links back to Links, and they filed an arrest warrant the very next day, like it was issued. So investigators from multiple law enforcement agencies searched a 1986 Chevrolet Scottsdale pickup truck and collected evidence from inside it. According to the lab reports, there was blood that was identified on part of a seat inside the truck. Investigators also recovered hair samples from various items that were found, and lab technicians found the blood and blonde hair, but neither one of them had enough DNA information for a conclusive match. So they couldn't.
She's back, everybody. She's burping.
I know. Sorry.
Welcome back.
So sorry, guys. That's what beer does to me. So unfortunately, no body, no crime. And then they have this evidence, but it's not enough to arrest him because they can't match it to anything. So the documentary that came out, I mentioned, Still Missing Morgan, it revealed that law enforcement also found blue-green cotton fiber in the mat under the seats and in metal pieces of the truck. FBI technicians were able to match the fiber on microscopic levels to a Girl Scout shirt of the type that Morgan wore when she disappeared.
Wow.
And they said it was unlikely that kind of fiber would have been used because, it's Girl Scouts and stuff are very specific. And so, anyways, court records from the Van Buren incident revealed that a neighbor who lived next to Links in 1995 told investigators back in that time, like in 1995, that he thought there used to be a camper shell on Link's truck a few months back, but he took it off. So in 1992, Billy Links was accused of molesting one of his granddaughters.
Gross.
And he was arrested and charged, but was given a 10-year suspended imposition of sentence, which meant probation. So, like, he did not go to jail. He did not serve any time. He was out on the streets victimizing other people.
Oh my God. God damn it.
Investigators believe that there were multiple victims of Links, like multiple. He was on a 10-year probation, so he was just free to victimize whoever. And investigators in 1995 discovered that Links had poured a concrete slab on his property 3 days after Morgan disappeared. But before they pursued digging up that area, Links passed a polygraph test about Morgan's kidnapping. So the investigators, in true fashion, stopped questioning him.
What?
You're telling me this man that has a truck that was at the ball field that matches the description and poured concrete 2 days after, a day after he tried to pick up another 11-year-old 10 minutes down the road, you're just going to back off.
He poured concrete
in his backyard, a concrete slab.
Did they ever look underneath that concrete?
So they did, but it wasn't until 2.5 decades later. And
there'd still be something in there.
Well, the FBI returned to his property and they dug up the 10-inch concrete slab. It was 3 feet of dirt underneath it, and they hit rock bottom. And there was nothing in there except for dirt, tree roots, and, according to them, disappointment. But you have to think, he had 2.5 decades to get whatever was inside of there out, because I'm sure he thought they would come back. You know what I mean? Like, because why would you pour this tiny bit of concrete for nothing and just have dirt there?
I don't know. The same thing happened with that one case.
Yeah, it's just,
with the family.
Yeah.
When the whole family was trafficking.
Yeah.
Those poor children. Yeah.
So, anyways, they did dig it up 2.5 decades later. They didn't find anything underneath it, but he was already dead at that point anyways. They were just trying to find answers.
He was old in 95. He was old. He would have been way older.
Yeah, I think he was like in his 70s.
Like, ultimately, like, he would have been 50s, maybe in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because he died. How old was he when he died?
I don't know exactly how old he was. He died in 2000.
So he,
yeah, he was like in his 70s.
Oh yeah, he was old.
And there's multiple stories of girls, even teenagers, saying that someone in a red truck tried to pick them up, try to take them home, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But there were a lot of reports about him, and he was just free roaming. So in that documentary, the police chief said, "I think it happened very quickly. On his way out of the parking lot, I think he literally just stepped out of his truck, grabbed her, put her in the truck, and took off." So, like, he got back in his truck, he was driving, and she was standing out of the car, grabbed her and went, because she's a whole 55 pounds, So at the time of her disappearance, Colleen was married to Morgan's father, John Nick. They divorced in 1994 because of circumstances surrounding the case.
Oh, really?
So,
I thought she disappeared in 95. Sorry.
Well, they were together, but they were trying to make it work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then this just killed it. So they divorced in 1994. As soon as Colleen found out about Morgan's disappearance, she called John and said, "Hey, she's missing," and he was fully on board. He worked with the police and everything. And then Colleen became the most visible advocate for Morgan in the days and months after her abduction, and the police maintained that Morgan's father did everything that he was asked. Okay. He always responded to the police, but he didn't want to do media interviews, and he said it was because he was told by a reporter, no one wants to hear from the father. And he said, you know what? I said, I don't want to talk to you assholes either. And I'm not going to. And 24 years later, I still haven't spoken to the media. So because of this decision, it had very unintended consequences. Colleen stopped talking to him. It finalized the divorce, like from the problems, like the separation in 1994. This made it final. People started accusing him.
Yeah, he just sounds, I don't know. Ben, I don't know.
People started accusing him of harming his own daughter. And in the documentary, he said it's really painful for someone to point their finger and say, that's who hurt the little girl. That's who took that little girl, all because I won't talk to reporters. He was like, I will talk to the police. I will talk to investigators. I don't want to talk to the media. Which he did. The police agreed that he did. Anytime they had a question or needed something, he was. But
the media isn't owed anything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But
for, everyone grieves in their own way. And so I don't know. But yeah, he had very unintended consequences of that.
Like, don't talk, but be there with your wife.
Yeah, well.
Just be there.
Yeah. So in 2019, Detective Brett Harley became the new Alma Police Department's lead investigator. And in the documentary, he said, in 25 years of law enforcement here, Morgan is the only case we haven't found. We haven't solved.
Oh, man.
He added, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for facts. I'm looking for details. I'm looking for things that I can prove. And that is an important statement because when he was going through the cold case files, he came across the picture of the red truck. And it found out 4 days after Morgan had gone missing. The police revealed that there had been a home video that showed a red truck in the parking lot. But, like in the 90s, videos were, yeah.
I mean, it looks like a camper is way too small for that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But videos in the 90s were not great. And so they had this home video, but the officer reviewing the video for the media commented that the truck didn't look like a Ford, which was the type of vehicle originally reported by witnesses. And if you remember, Lynx had a Chevrolet. So witnesses said it was a Ford, Lynx had a Chevrolet. And then he said the supposed camper might have actually been a storm door. And in the days after Morgan went missing, a TV news station reported that the truck in the video was probably a Mazda and was owned by a parent who attended the ball game. But the problem is the details about the truck were not true. He says, I have not found a single document at this point that tells me the truck's cleared or that the owner of that truck has been identified. So to this day, they still don't actually know if Lynx's truck was the truck. Yes, there was evidence, but all of the witnesses listed a different model of truck, and he's dead. So they can't even ask him. You know what I mean? And because that evidence, obviously, there was something because they found this evidence, but you can't prove it. So he says to him, that's not a fact he can prove. He is looking for things that he can prove and solve in this case to find Morgan. So he explained that the night Morgan disappeared, police took the information of everyone who had been at the ball field, including the type of vehicles they drove. People were also asked about any guests that they had invited to see the game and got descriptions of those vehicles too. According to Hartley, the truck does not exist in those records. So not a single person at that ball field said, I drive a red truck. I know someone that drives a red truck. I invited someone that drives a red truck. So the theory that was put out in the news reports was completely false. That it was a parent driving the truck. Like nobody recognizes that truck.
But the truck was there.
Their truck was there, but nobody knows who it was.
I mean, that those pictures I just pulled up, that's the truck.
Yeah.
From that day.
Yeah.
And nobody said,
Nobody
I
said.
know who was in that truck. Oh my gosh.
And when the sketch came out, nobody came forward of knowing who the man in the sketch was. So, but the red truck with the ill-fitting camper had been seen at the ball field. It was in videos. There were witnesses. It was just a matter of what type of truck it was, who was driving it, and why they were there. So none of those things have ever been proved. And so not only had Ty and Jessica described the truck, but other witnesses had seen it too. And it was actually parked right next to Colleen's car. So it was a matter of opportunity, most likely. Like, he was there to get something.
He watched that little boy turn around, walk away, and he took that opportunity, and that was it.
So some witnesses said the truck was a Ford, but Jessica, who was interviewed as an adult now in the documentary, said she thought it looked more like a Chevrolet because, according to her, the headlights and taillights were boxy, and so was the truck. And she said her family had a Chevy, and the red truck was very similar in shape. So that was her reasoning as a child for thinking that it was also a Chevrolet.
Shit. Okay. I want you to think about where you were today. Do you remember anything? I don't fucking remember anything. I can't imagine something as like, I remember them being boxy. I just can't. I mean, maybe it because it's so traumatic, you're immediately you have to remember what just happened 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And the fact that her family had one, like, I'm sure there was that, you know.
Like, why would you even look at that? Like, that just proves that I am not aware of my surroundings all the time.
Oh God, I hope no one I know ever disappears when they're with me.
We're in trouble.
I know. We're in super trouble because they're going to be like looking at our history and be like, holy shit, this was planned.
The fact that like people can still, you know, like there are certain things that I have an amazing memory for, and then there's other things that I just don't. Like, so it's impressive. It's so impressive. I mean,
and when people are like, you know, asking what someone was wearing, I don't even remember what I was wearing, let alone what someone else was wearing.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, y'all. Like,
I don't have that kind of memory.
But I mean, maybe you would if
it was traumatic. Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, like, who knows? I mean, we just haven't been put in that situation.
Yeah, thankfully.
I mean, even with my own trauma, it's in snapshots. They're like Polaroid pictures, like boom, boom, boom. It's not this full picture. I wouldn't be able to tell you a whole lot, but I just know that it happened, right? And so there's
same.
It's just it's so bizarre, and that these and how she was 8 when this happened.
She was 8. The boy was 10.
The boy was 10, and my God.
And Morgan was 6.
6, yeah. Those poor kids. All of them.
So Hartley started pulling statements and information from other cases that described a red truck with a white camper. And the truck had been reported several times before it was ever seen at the baseball field. He pieced together the information, said it painted a very interesting picture of June 9th, 1995. So when I say before the field, like that day.
1995, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. June 9th, 1995. That day, there were a lot of reports of him trying to pick up people. And I'm about to talk about some of them. But that same day. The first known interaction of the day was the driver of the red truck came for a teenage female walking on the side of the road. The vehicle pulled in front of her, and the man inside asked her if she wanted a ride to downtown. It scared her enough that she said no and ran away. Like, she immediately ran away.
How old was she?
She was a teenager. It didn't specify the age. Damn. Not long after, in a northern part of Alma, 2 girls, 5 years old and 6-year-old, they were playing in their front yard. They came running and screaming into their house, and the mother saw a red truck with a white camper pulling off and driving away. The mother immediately reported this incident to the police department. Same day, the next run-in with the driver.
Good for her for reporting it right away.
Yeah.
That's good.
The next run-in with the driver of the red truck was reported by a couple of teenage boys. They were walking from the older ball field on the south side of West Main Street. A red truck with a white camper shell stopped next to them, and the driver got onto them for being in the road. One of the boys said the truck had turned down onto Walnut Street, and Walnut Street is the road used to get to the parking area of the baseball field where Morgan was taken. Some 10-year-old boys riding bikes and playing in the street were also told to get off the road by the driver of this red truck. And according to Hartley, the red truck with the white camper in the photo circulated by the police department was parked on the street during a game played between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. earlier that night. Then the truck was seen in the upper parking area of the baseball field, and it disappeared, likely with Morgan inside, around 10:40 p.m.
Oh my God.
And then the truck was seen one more time on that night. In a location that the detective would not reveal, he says a group of teenagers were driving near the Arkansas River and noticed a red truck with a white camper. One of the teenagers reported seeing a man holding down a little girl in the front seat. Hartley did say the teenagers tried to show the officers where they had seen this vehicle, and because they immediately went to they didn't have phones back then. They immediately went to the police and said, this is happening, you know. So they took the police, and again, by then the area was flooded. So the detective does believe that this was a solid piece of advice. He does not think the teenagers were lying or making it up, because they were genuinely concerned and immediately tried to take them to the area. So during the filming of the documentary, Hartley and an FBI special agent named Reuben Gay and the canine unit of the Texas Game Wardens searched that whole area where Hartley thinks that Morgan was last seen 27 years ago. But unfortunately, I mean, it had been 27 years, there had been flooding. The dogs did not detect a presence of human remains at all. So if there had been a body out there, something had already removed it, or, I mean, over the time, you know. But they did try. They have tried several times to find any kind of evidence out there, and just never have. So,
I wish that... I wish she would visit her mom, you know, in a dream.
Yeah.
And just like give her peace.
Yeah.
Like that's just so heartbreaking.
In the documentary, Colleen says, I think the part that bothers me the most is the perpetrator is deceased. At the end of the day, that means there will be no justice. No one has to stand and face us for what they did. So Billy Links was convicted of sexual solicitation of a child in 1995, the same year that Morgan disappeared.
And he wasn't in jail.
And sentenced to 6 years in prison.
But
he died on August 5th, 2000, while serving his time in jail.
August 5th, 2000, or September?
October 5th, 2000, while he was serving his time.
September, October?
Saturday, August 5th.
Okay.
Sorry.
Saturday,
I can't see, guys.
5th. 2000.
I don't know what I'm doing. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison in 1995 after Morgan disappeared for the sexual solicitation of a child, because I want to say it was that Sonic situation. He had offered her money and tried to get her to go home with him, and so she ran, and her brothers reported it. And when they found him, there was like evidence on him that he did actually try to solicit her. And so that's why he was arrested. But he died in jail. And I don't know. I'm assuming of natural causes because he was like 100 or something.
He was really fucking old.
Yeah. And so her mom goes on to say in an NBC News interview, Morgan is not a number. She is not a statistic. She is not a case file. It is my job to make sure she never gets lost. And until someone can prove to me that Morgan is not coming home, then I'm going to fight for her. So Colleen has founded the Morgan Nick Foundation, and their mission statement is dedicated to preventing crimes against children and adults through programs that educate, empower, and unite family communities. And so this case is still very open. And I'll post pictures when we post the episode. And if any of this sounds familiar, if you know someone that, you can even think of that might know anything, they say to contact the FBI or the National Foundation of Missing Children or the Alma Police Department. There's a lot of numbers you can contact. So that is my story. I'm about to look up that 2% real quick if you have.
Yeah. I hated that story. I'm just over here like trying not to bawl my eyes out. I honestly wish so much for a conclusion for her mom, something,
Yeah.
Obviously the statistic, if it is correct, it doesn't bode well for Morgan's fate, but I do hope that they either find something to put some closure, or they find her alive and she's able to come home. But do they talk to the two kids, both of them? You said that they talked to the adult girl now that she's an adult. Did they talk to the boy who is 10 and 95? How are they? Did that affect them?
It affected Jessica a lot. I didn't finish the whole series yet, but I didn't see them talk to him. But when they talked to Jessica, you can tell it affected her. The part of because it's a series, so they break it up into episodes. You can tell that her mom really is fighting for her, and the detectives are really fighting for her. And you just listen to their stories, and you listen to how the whole thing unfolded, and then, like I said, the interviews with Jessica.
I just wonder, even the teenagers that might have seen her.
Oh yeah, they don't talk to them.
But I just feel like that would have changed the rest of their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they experienced something traumatic as well. It wasn't just Morgan and her family, but everyone there, and how did that change their trajectory, like the trajectory of their life?
So in this article that's in the show notes, it says, so remember I talked about they found that fiber?
Yes.
That match?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So
the Girl Scout shirt.
They actually, part of what I left out was that when they found Lynx's truck, when they went to him the first time, they impounded his truck. And when they had the arrest warrant and they originally went to his house, they impounded his truck. And they kept his truck, and then eventually got sold in an auction.
Oh my God.
So years later, when detectives took the case over, they actually tracked down the new owner and did another sweep of the car just in case, which is kind of weird because it's a new owner now. And that's when they found the fiber. Okay. And the analysis found that fiber matched the exact type of material that would have been in her Girl Scout shirt. There was no denying that Morgan was 100% in the truck at that point. Even though they couldn't prove it was her, this fiber only was made or only used for that Girl Scout shirt, like that type of Girl Scout shirt.
Wow.
So it said the lab technician was able to determine that it's highly unlikely that fibers found within the truck would have come from any other material. Although Lynx has yet to be formally charged with the abduction, FBI Special Agent Rob Allen said that this new evidence gives investigators a more explicit link between him and Morgan's abduction. Now we can push away effort and resources on other subjects and reallocate them to this one and do a full court press on this one subject. Nick said that she is still holding out hope that she will find peace after all of these years. The possibility is that 2% of missing children do survive. That means that until someone can prove that Morgan didn't survive, the possibility remains that she survived until someone can prove it. My fight is for that small percentage in case Morgan fell into the 2% for the possibility, that tiny little possibility. As long as that possibility is there, that's my fight to bring. So, yeah. Watching the interviews with her is really hard in the documentary, and these there's some other news articles and stuff with her.
And what was the number to call if you know something, or if you were there, do you remember something?
The Alma Police Department, the FBI directly, or the National Missing Children Center. And then I'll put the actual phone numbers in on our Facebook post and in the show notes. And then, or you can contact the foundation. It's called the Morgan Nick Foundation. It's ran by her mom.
NICK, Morgan Nick. Morgan Nick.
Yeah, NICK. So they have a lot of resources for parents on how to educate your child, like monitoring apps, online safety, how to put parental controls on cell phones, what to teach your children if a stranger approach, like things that you don't want to have to think about, but in this day and age you have to.
And maybe we should do an episode on that, because there's really so much, even being a part of the PTA. I mean, on an elementary school PTA board, right? Like how suburban is that? But the things that we talk about, like when we go to PTA training, statewide training, there's so much of that. It's like, there's so much more about this, because like I didn't grow up with the internet, and these kids only know the internet. And
and when I was a kid, we stayed out well past, like we just had to be home by dinner. Like when we heard,
when the street lights turned on, you come home.
But our parents never knew where we were. It was never a concern.
How did we live? How did we survive? I always say that. How did we survive? But now there's, the Apple tags or whatever. There's so many different things that you can do. But someone was telling me about Life 360.
Yeah.
And, it'll alert you when your daughter's speeding. Wow, what?
Yeah. When I was a kid and I was in middle school, we lived in this neighborhood, and the school was on the other side of the neighborhood. So I would walk to school. And when I say I would walk to school, I would walk through unincorporated wooded areas for miles to get to like a hole in the fence of the back of the school. And sometimes when we would go through the woods, there'd be like homeless people, just random. Nobody knew what the hell we were doing or where we were going. We were just walking to school, and it was never
over a river and through the woods.
Like we would literally just walk through these random woods to get to school, and it was never, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Maybe you were meant to be alive right now.
You know what I mean? But
hey, and we always say stranger danger is such a small percentage of
it is
a small percentage, but holy shit, if you're a part of that percentage, it doesn't feel like yours is a small percentage. So I don't want to discount that.
Yeah. So for parents or teachers, they also have resources for teachers on here. And one of the things is teacher tools. So it's like tell people no crossword. So like different ways to say no in certain situations. Take a friend maze, decode the rule, and trusted adult word search. Like it's things you can click on and print out and give to kids in your classroom.
Oh, that's cool.
Put
that in the link.
Yeah, it lists monitoring apps. And so just real quick, some of the tips that they give are like cyberbullying, gaming safety. So like if your kids play online games, home alone safety. So if they have to be alone for any reason, going out. So like if they're going out without you, like to a friend's house or to a school event, preventing abduction, safety scenarios, protecting kids online, setting physical boundaries, tips to prevent sexting for teens, smartphone safety, social media safety for teens, talking to teens about sexting, and tween tips. So those are all different PDFs that you can click on and download to use as resources to speak to your children if you don't know what to say or how to say it. They also have they break it down by grade. Like they have tips based, like curriculum based on what age group they're in. So it's
that's
all
really
under
cool.
the education and programs. They have videos.
Wow, that's a lot of resources.
They've put a lot out here of like what to do, how to help your kids, and how to try to protect them the best that you can, right? Because unfortunately we can't be everywhere at all times. And so this is a lot of information, and it has just so many resources. It links to so many organizations that help with the same thing, like healing opportunities for victims of human trafficking, support for families of missing loved ones. They have one for advocates for those victimized by the sex industry. They have refuge and restoration for minor survivors of sexual exploitation on here. Like they just have so much stuff. Yeah. Like they have and this one I thought was interesting. It's called the FBI Child ID app. Have you ever heard of this? Mm-mm. So it's the first mobile application created by the FBI, and it provides a convenient place to electronically store photos and other vital information about your children so that it's immediately available if your child goes missing. So like any important information or pictures that you may need versus like being in the moment and grieving and trying to do all of that, it's already stored in the FBI's app. And so that's a link on here. So anyways, they have all kinds of stuff. So I highly recommend it. It's literally just morgannickfoundation.com.
Wow, that's really a good resource. It's so hard not to, feel like a helicopter parent, not to be like, we're over preparing.
Yeah.
And we know that it's not always stranger danger. We know that it's mostly 90% of the time somebody knows. But we are 100% in a new world from when we were growing up. So, any resource, any kind of knowledge that we can gain, we should take it. We should use it. Because I honestly, when my kids become teenagers, I'm not gonna know what to tell them or what how to explain it to them without scaring the bejesus out of them.
And like one of the things in the story that really hit me was that she had that gut feeling, but she was so worried about these people just constantly telling her she was being overprotective and just let her go play. Nothing bad has ever happened. Please always listen to your gut. Like, I'm not blaming the mom at all. I'm just saying, if you have that gut feeling. I'm blaming
her friends.
Yeah. If you have that gut feeling, listen to it. I mean, it's your child.
Right. Don't tell people how to parent, I guess. I mean, let people do it. Like it's not going to do anybody any good. And I wonder if she's still friends with any of those people.
I highly doubt it.
I would have been like, fuck you, you're all right. Fuck you.
Yeah. Because I can't imagine their guilt for telling her that, or poor Ty and Jessica, or like all of it. Like, I feel so bad for everyone involved in this.
Everybody.
The children didn't know. They don't, especially back in the 90s, you didn't know that you needed to stick together like that. Like, he thought she was behind him. She had literally just got done tying her shoe.
In this small town
at a baseball game.
Little league game. Dang. And we were just at a little league thing for Hillary's friend. And I was like, this is a pretty big parking lot, but not really. I mean, it was a little league. They had a parade.
And then the thing to me is the fact that there were so many reports on the same day and the truck was never pulled over.
The whole thing, all of it.
You know
the whole day.
Though?
Yes.
Like, how many reports do you have to get in one day to the same police department about the same truck trying to pick up children and not be out looking for them?
And this shit is not a big town. This is not Houston. This is not Houston. Damn. Okay. All right. Well, I am gearing up for my story next week. Thank you for your awesome story. But I am gearing up for my story next week. It is another book by my guy, Greg Olson, bringing him back. It's a new book he's come out with. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to look it up.
Real quick, the population in the 90s of Alma was less than 3,000.
There are high schools bigger than that.
So I'm just saying, I feel like if you as a police department got multiple reports that a man in a red truck was trying to pick up children,
you go find
why
that
are you not
truck.
driving around?
You go find that fucking truck.
Yeah. Or at least, I don't know. Anyways, that's my story.
Anyway, thank you. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for coming back.
Yes.
Sorry for the long hiatus. No, you know what? I'm not even going to say I'm sorry for the long hiatus. We had a long hiatus.
Yes.
But we're back. And if you're still listening, if you're still here with us, we love you.
We absolutely do.
And thanks for the support and handling it. Thanks.
Yes. And just still love us, share us, follow us, leave us voicemails on our website.
I mean, come on. It's like a whole new season now. We're like, I don't know. This is like season 18.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're here. I don't know what the seasons don't matter. Okay, guys.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.